All right. All right. What's going on, Charles? I think I got like a sinus infection or something. I'm not feeling very good. So this will not be long, but I'll be on here for a little bit. Yeah, we've got a tornado warning. Down actually just to the south of New York. We've got one Manalapan Township. Headed out towards Middleton. Right here in Jersey. You can actually see this couplet right here. Let's see if we have anything on the CC. This looks to be the tornado right here. Oh, that just updated. It looks like it went away. Let's see. This was it. Here we go. So it's tracking straight over or to the south or right over Marlborough. I can't say that word. Out towards Red Bank, Monmouth Beach, Long Branch, Oceanport, Rumson, Highlands. This is New Jersey, so you can see the signature. That's the debris signature right there. It does look to maybe be weakening, but we'll have to see. Let me look at a couple different velocities here. It's thunderstorming where I am. This is it right here. On this radar, it looks to be a little to the south. Right there. So, still just radar indicate it. We got anything else going on right now? Most of this is offshore now. God, there's so much lightning outside of my window. We do have a large... Actually, this is our 2% tornado threat right now. So we're still watching potentially southern Jersey and portions of Delaware as well as this squall line moves through. So, probably won't be severe up here in Long Island. This is likely just going to be some thunderstorms. We do have a tornado warning right here. But the farther up you go, we're not dealing with the same type of cloud tops up here. I'm surprised that we have one here, and I think this will... Well, let's take another look really quickly. I think this was down momentarily. It doesn't look like it is now, but you should still be in a safe spot if you're out ahead of this. Like I said, out towards Middletown, Middleton, Trenton Falls, Long Branch, Marlborough. Looks like it touched down and it's kind of weakening, but you don't want to take any chances with that. But surprising we got one that far north on this. Yeah. Yep. See, yeah, this thing's definitely weakening up, which is good. Although there's a little bit of a signature shear up here. So yeah, we can push up the coast. I see people asking about what's going on up here. You've got some pretty strong storms moving into Connecticut. There could be some hail associated with this. Not really a significant tornado threat up here. Where's our radar up here? Wow, you have no radar in Connecticut. Interesting. Here we go. A little bit of hail possible with these storms here. So heading out towards... Actually, this might go to the north. Yeah, to the northwest of Bristol. But these will be coming through overnight, and this is some pretty heavy rainfall. You'll get some thunder, lightning, strong winds. But tornado chances are a little bit lower up here, but it's not impossible. You're still... someone said, I'm in Delaware. Are we good? You're still in a 2% tornado risk, and you have these severe thunderstorm warnings out here. So I would wait This is a pretty decent looking squall line still. Not impossible to get a QLCS tornado out here. We're not expecting a strong, significant tornado out of this, but it's possible to get EF0, EF1. So, which is what I think we had on the ground up here. And it looks... Well, let's take another look. It looks like this thing may have lifted back up, which is good. I don't see a super strong signature for a tornado down anymore here. But, let's see. But, you know, I'd just be safe just in case. Connie, I appreciate you. Sassy, what's going on? Fabe, what's up? It's near you. I see my top North Brunswick. Is that up here? Oh yeah, right up to the north. Yeah, you guys are in the safe area though. You're not going to get anything behind this main squall line. Your air's cooling, and this is more stable air back here, more of a stable atmosphere behind this. So you're in the clear now. As soon as this clears, you guys over here, you'll be in the clear as well. We do have a tornado warning. There we go. New one down here, Delaware. This is now right over Cambridge, heading up towards Hurlock, Federalsburg, out towards Seaford, Georgetown. So let's go into this real quick and see what we got. 1 second, guys. We're actually going to do some other stuff. This isn't going to be a long stream. I am still feeling very sick. But this is, here we go, some interesting velocities in here. That's probably why they put it down. Not a super strong looking couplet, but let's check out our correlation coefficient. It's a concerning look. I don't see, you know, it looks like we do have some rotation in here. It's hard to tell if there's a tornado on the ground, but I would still treat it like there is. If you're out here, Cambridge, Hurlock, Federalsburg. I'm probably saying that wrong, but, and then heading out towards Seaford, potentially Harlington, Georgetown area. But right now, this is back here. We'll see if that gets extended. And oh my gosh, the lightning outside of my window is crazy. Can you guys hear that? Could you guys hear that thunder? Yeah, you heard that? A big flash, and then I heard that. I am, not to tell you guys where I live, but I'm up here somewhere. Let's just say that. So, someone said Englishtown. Yeah, we can look at that. New Jersey. Ooh, yeah. Well, this tornado, that tornado warning, this thing is past you. We saw a debris signature moving like this. So if you're good now, right now in Englishtown, you're safe. You're past it. And it looks like they just lifted it. Look at that. They just lifted the warning, like I said. I think there was a tornado that touched down briefly. When I was watching, it looked like something was down for a few minutes. We saw a debris signature. But it was probably EF1, EF0. Probably even an EF0. There was rotation. It's lifted. So you're good. Thunder and lightning. But this is still a concern right here, though. Ohio's good for now. This is all past you guys. But we have severe weather back into Ohio this upcoming Wednesday and Thursday, which I'm going to go over in just a second with you guys, because this upcoming severe weather event looks to be pretty significant, especially for the Ohio Valley up towards and for Chicago and out towards Detroit as well. Still rotation, a little bit of rotation in here. Not the scariest looking thing, but some decent velocities, and I'd still watch out. Not seeing anything crazy, but I'd still be careful if you're out here in this area. Hurlock, Federalsburg, out towards Seaford, Georgetown. All right, guys. But other than that, we're looking pretty good out here. I want to show you guys something. We need to talk about this upcoming severe event. It's not really upcoming. We have another one starting out. Let me show you. Let me show you. Let me put this radar up real quick. And we also have freezing temperatures returning. Western Nebraska's got some decent thunderstorms moving through. We've also got some freezing temperatures returning. So, here, really quickly, we're going to hear that thunder in a second. This right here is our April from the CPC, Climate Prediction Center, April 6th to April 10th temperature outlook. Cold temperatures are returning. How cold? We could get down into the low 40s down near the Gulf without wind chill. And you can see this all the way through the second week of April. Beginning this weekend, for the next really 10 days to 2 weeks, we could see very cold temperatures from here on out east. Well below average. And there's going to be some severe weather with this. This is... Let me get into our SPC as well. We'll get into how cold that's going to be. Well, let me show you that really quickly first. It's pretty interesting. So here's our temperature anomalies. Check out this cold that's returning. As we get off into the 3rd and 4th, here we go. Let me actually do our 12Z so you can see this a little bit better. Look at all this cold. Look at these cold air anomalies. We're talking 20 to 25 degrees potentially in some areas out here. Below average. We'll see how cold it actually gets. But this is a lot of cold air. Be interesting to see. And then right behind it again. This is like winter being like, I'm not done yet. This is, I mean, we're going to see below freezing above this line for a lot of people. So off to the northeast of that line. I'm going to get back to chat, answering questions. Give me a second. We have 4 days of severe weather still to deal with. I think there's going to be a day 5 risk. Tomorrow, specifically, Wichita, Kansas, and everywhere around this area, you have a hatched. This is an enhanced, pretty significant. And you have hatched hail, hatched wind, hatched tornado, meaning significant hail, wind, and tornadoes are possible in this region. This is going to be a mess out here. Tomorrow, it's been uptrending. I'll tell you that. We also have this is not this last severe threat we just went through. This is Wednesday into Thursday. Very large hatched 30% risk for severe weather. We're seeing 2 sections here that look a little bit sketchy. One would be this area, specifically Memphis, Tennessee. The CSU, Colorado State University, has a high 5 out of 5 hatched risk for severe weather. The other area that looks to be slightly concerning is this region right here, which is weird, I know. But this region right here, both these regions from the CSU look very concerning. Anyone in this risk zone needs to pay attention, but both of those are kind of what's being highlighted right now. We've also got it Thursday to Friday. This is probably going to expand and go enhanced. We'll see. And then I think we're going to get a day 5 Friday to Saturday as well. So last thing before I get back to answering questions, I want to show you guys, let me see how far out my HRRR is taking me now with severe weather. This is a little bit of a scary look because what's different about this is notice this discrete, oh my gosh, the thunder outside is crazy. Notice the discrete setup here. All these small cells and out ahead of the system here. You see this right there? This is when you can get those supercells. You can also see them up there to the north, up here. So this is when you can get supercells. This is when you can get very strong tornadoes. So, and then this will be moving off to the east again. So not much of a break here. After all this is done, then we start getting, these 15 to 20, possibly even more 20, 25 degree below average temperatures that move in. So it's going to be an interesting week of weather. Probably an interesting 2 weeks of weather, if I'm being honest. And, okay, let me get to chat. Let me move out of the Ohio Valley. And the other thing that you're going to want to watch, by the way, is widespread 5, 10 to maybe even, 5 to 10 plus inches of rain in this area. Flash flooding is going to be a concern this week as well. All right, chat. Dalton, what's going on? Can you give us a prediction on what the risk will be for Thursday? I think Thursday might just be enhanced. I think Wednesday could go moderate easily. A lot of rain and storms coming this week. Yes, this week could be. We'll see. It has a chance to be the most significant severe outbreak we've seen this year. So there's some thoughts that maybe the rain that's ahead, that maybe that first rain that pushed through dampens the severe effects of the second band because you're going to have more of a stable atmosphere. You're going to have rain, cooled air. That'd be our savior there. Feds, what's going on? Samantha, I appreciate you. Stacy, what's up? Let's see. Constance, I honestly think I'm going to leave Chicago. This is too much. I don't want to be a sitting duck. So let's pull back up. Let's pull back up CSU and see what they're saying here. So here is the latest. Colorado State University has a great weather program. They are good at this stuff. Here is the latest with their projections. So obviously, you know, this is a hatched 4 out of 5 risk. So that's north. It's really just a lot of northern Illinois, central to northern, that we'll be watching this box up here. And again, like I said, this is our other concern area. But you can see Detroit in that hatched as well, meaning, you know, we'll see whether it's going to be, you know, that large hail, significant tornadoes, what we're going to be looking out for. Now we can dive into this and take a look at what our biggest threat in these areas are going to be. What's going on, or what's going to happen with New York City tonight with this weather, thunderstorms, tornadoes. I'm watching the map right now. We look good, I think, up there in New York and Long Island. Doesn't look like we're going to see any more tornadoes. There is still a tornado warning down around Cambridge, moving out towards Hurlock and Federalsburg, although I'm telling you guys, I'm looking at it on another screen right now, and it doesn't look... There's some rotation. It doesn't look like there's a tornado on the ground. Could be an EF0 heading towards Federalsburg and Bridgeville. Where is this? Delaware, but right now it doesn't look like much. But if you're out in Georgetown, this is headed out there. It's pretty strong thunderstorms. All right. I just wanted to make sure everything's good out there. Do you think the top of Illinois will have a tornado? Yes, if you want me to be honest. I think it will, but you know, again, you guys have to understand, most tornadoes don't actually affect anyone. A lot of tornadoes, I forget what the number is, but most tornadoes that touch down actually are you know, the majority of people in these zones aren't going to be affected by a tornado, even if I mean, the other week we had 300 tornado warned storms. 99.9% of people weren't anywhere near them, you know, weren't affected by them. You just got to be prepared. There's no reason to get overly scared. Just be prepared, have a plan. You know, you would expect with that type of risk zone. Let's look into it. Let's go to the NAM for people who are concerned about this. Let's look. Is my HRRR gonna see out? HRRR is not really gonna see out far enough. All right, let's go. Let's go into the HRRR and let's zoom in a little bit up here, up towards Chicago. So we don't want that. We want this reflectivity. Here we go. So this is there's. And this is what could help, and this is what we're talking about. You're going to have this band come through, this kind of QLCS band come through. Now, this looks to be around Wednesday early in the morning, 6 a.m.-ish for Chicago. What happens behind it is could be the issue, because we could get some discrete action back here. And, you know, here's the thing, though. If you get enough rain-cooled air out ahead of this, you're going to be good, and your really severe chances are going to go down. Let me look at the SIGTOR here for up near Chicago. So this is kind of your most significant timing SIGTOR parameter wise on the HRRR. These are some pretty good parameters for Chicago. I'm not going to lie. So you've got really No directional shear, which is interesting. That's a good sign. You do have a 2.0 effective layer SIG-TOR param. That's capable of producing, you see possible hazard TOR. That's capable of producing SIG-TORs, significant tornadoes, 1,400 joules per kilogram of surface cape is good. 253 storm relative helicity. That means there's a lot of rotation at the surface and 36 knot wind, 36 knot shear at the surface. So, and you do have velocity shear with this. You can see you have kind of slow winds here. You've got fast winds here, slow winds here, fast winds here. When the wind speeds are changing with height, that's another type of shear. So significant supercells, significant tornadoes. The timing with this, 12 in the afternoon on Wednesday as the latest. That's kind of what the latest HRRR is looking at. But again, look at what happens before this moves through. I just want to show you guys because there's a chance that we aren't dealing with this as bad as, this isn't as bad as we think. Look at what happens before that moves through. So this is in the morning. Can we get a lot of rainfall in here? And can this help to stabilize our atmosphere in this region before this stuff back here starts to move in? That's the question. And that would be very helpful. So New York City's good. New York City's good. Don't spam. I'm not feeling good today. I'm not dealing with it. What about for New Jersey right now? There are no tornado warnings in New Jersey right now. You might be under tornado watch, but you're good. It doesn't look like we're going to see anything else in New Jersey tonight. I would say southern Jersey, Berkeley Township south. So I would say Seaside Heights south, Philly south, that area. Should keep watch, but there's not much steam left with this. I'm looking at the radar right now. There's not much steam. We have a tornado warning that's very likely going to expire here in a second, down in southern Delaware, or headed into southern Delaware. But right now, everyone looks pretty safe up and down the mid-Atlantic coast. Right now in my area, it's raining and I think thundering. Yeah. Yeah, we've got a lot of thunder, rain, thunder, and lightning outside of here. Gaming, what's going on, dude? Yeah, you guys should be good. We don't see much of a tornado threat through the rest of the night, but if there's something pops up, I'll let you guys know. All right, sorry. Let me get back out here, and let me just do a speed round. Let me answer as many questions as I can right now. I do want to remind you guys, we've got an interesting few days ahead of severe weather here. So, with some very cold temperatures behind it. Detroit, Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday evening. You could be in a SIG-TOR area potential. You could be an enhanced hatched, moderate hatched. There's potential for it. We're going to have to watch it. Berg, I appreciate the rose. Rich, what's going on? This would be a more severe setup, Detroit, than you had yesterday. This upcoming Wednesday would be a more severe setup. Philadelphia is good now. Philadelphia is good. You guys got some thunder and lightning down there, but the worst is off to your east. Don't worry about it. Worst is off to your east. This is pivotal weather that we're looking at right now. This is pivotal weather. So what we need is a lot of rain in the morning so we don't have severe weather in Chicago. It would help, Constance. What happens is, what causes... Who's calling me? I don't have friends. Oh, it's my brother. That makes sense. Talk to me. Yeah. Yeah. What's going on, Shane? I'm streaming. All right, let me call you back in a little bit. Please. So, why does rain in the morning lower your chance for severe weather later? It doesn't mean you're not going to get severe weather, but it helps. An unstable atmosphere is if you have a lot of warm air near the surface and you have cool air above. Warm air wants to rise, cold air wants to sink. And that gradient, as those air boundaries are passing each other is what causes your pressure gradient, and that, that warm air is going to be able to lift up into that sinking cold air. When you have warm air aloft and you have cold air at the surface, they're both where they want to be. There's no sinking or rising. That's a stable atmosphere. But when it rains, what's going to happen? Okay, you're going to have kind of your upper atmosphere is typically going to be cooler, and when it rains, it's going to cool. That rain, as it's falling, that moisture is going to cool. You guys know when it rains, it gets a little cooler outside than when the sun's blasting on you. So if you get a lot of rain, more rain than you're expecting, you're going to see a lot of cooling, and you're going to see kind of an equilibrium in that atmosphere from the floor to the ceiling. And then suddenly you're not in as unstable of of a pocket of atmosphere, and the chances for very severe weather reduce. Now, you'll still probably have a pocket that's warmer or colder, but a lot of rain can sometimes almost eliminate your severe threat. Not always, but it's very helpful. And there's a big discussion right now with Wednesday's threat. Is there going to be enough rain out ahead of the main severe band and discrete setup to where it disappears? Not fully disappears, but where it's really not that severe. It's possible, and we're hoping for that. Shane, I appreciate you. Confused Blonde, what's going on? Southwest Indiana, another area we're watching. Again, this is a really good map to look at right here from the CSU. We've got, you can see Southwest Indiana slightly in this hatch zone right here. We'll see if this moves up or down. Now, this doesn't mean that there's not going to be like, oh, just look at these zones right here. This is a forecast. These have already shifted, and they're going to continue to shift up, down, around. This is as of the latest data. But, this is a big 15% right here. So, do you think anything will make its way to Nebraska tomorrow? There's some severe weather in western Nebraska right now. 50-mile-per-hour winds, 1.5 inches hail. Looks like it's out where no one lives. Oh, Kimball, out towards Bridgeport. Yeah, so we could take a look at that really quickly. So let's go into our HRRR. Let's look at this development. Watch how this is going to develop tomorrow, guys. So here we go. So this right here, you could get a little bit of wind, a little bit of hail. Probably not going to be too significant. This right here, we'll watch. From the SBC, I'll show you what our risk zone looks like tomorrow. Here we go. Let's go into our day 2 4-panel. So this is all of our outlooks tomorrow. So we've got a tornado outlook here. These are our tornadoes. This is especially dangerous. 10% hatch over Wichita. This is our categorical outlook. You can get some severe weather anywhere in here tomorrow. And then you got a large hatched hail, gorilla hail, possible. Southeastern Nebraska is in that as well. And then your wind outlook does encompass a lot of eastern Nebraska with that slight. You've obviously got a enhanced or 30% in here. So eastern Nebraska, central to eastern Nebraska, does really, the biggest threat right now to you guys looks to be this hail and wind, but you are in a 2% tornado as well, tornado threat. So you're not in the most dangerous part of this risk tomorrow, but there are some concerns with central to eastern Nebraska. Well, Fade, wait, I'm concerned about Whiteside County, Illinois. Whiteside County, Illinois. Let me look at where that is. I was supposed to make my video on my setup on Radar Omega, and I still haven't done that. Yeah, I would say Clinton, Iowa, Whiteside County. I would say that's definitely going to be a watch area on Wednesday. I feel like storms are going to initiate out to the southeast of that area, and I hope they do, but it's not guaranteed. So out here, yeah, I mean, I can show you really quickly on here what's our threat look like on this map for Wednesday, if Radar Omega wants to work with me. There you go. This is hatched, this whole area, which means significant severe weather is possible. This does include Chicago, Detroit, Kenosha, and portions of Milwaukee, all the way up there to the north. So they extended this tornado warning, so we're going to look at this. I haven't really been seeing anything on this tornado warning, but I do want to show you guys it really quickly. We don't have any sort of severe weather up to the north. Raleigh area, yeah, I'll talk about that. This is just general thunderstorms up here right now. General thunderstorms. And we're hoping it stays like that. They've actually taken out the 2% tornado risk here. I've continued, you know, you always want to treat this that like there's a tornado on the ground if it's warned. We didn't see anything earlier. Did this thing put down something? Let's take a look. There's not much here. There's some rotation. EF0, maybe. Again, I would treat this like this is a tornado. Not the most significant thing I've ever seen in a tornado warning, but it is heading out towards Seaford, Georgetown, and Lewes. Out here, Broad Kill Beach, Prime Hook Beach. It's, again, there's not much there, but it could spit out a tornado. It could put something on the surface. So, but that's the only thing that we're watching right now. That's the only thing we're watching right now. Heavy thunder and lightning out here, but no, not even any severe thunderstorm warnings, which is good. Let's get back really quickly here. 1 second, guys. All right. Tomorrow's HRRR is going to be very important to see if we're going to see this downtrend in that Wednesday event or not, and what it's going to do out towards the coast. Yeah, so Raleigh, you know, right now we don't have a day 5 risk. That's probably going to be labeled in the day 5 risk. I think we're going to see a day 5 risk tomorrow. So this is our Wednesday. Sorry, this is our Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This is our Friday, Saturday. And let's take a look at the latest Euro. So this is Thursday going into Friday. It actually keeps a lot of this weather to the north. So the latest Euro, actually, you can see what it's doing here. It's kind of keeping this to the north of the Carolinas now. Originally, this was skirting off down to the southeast. So you guys might avoid this altogether. We'll have to see. But it's keeping a lot of that north. But it's a constant stream of moisture. That's why for anyone who just joined in here, the big issue with this that we didn't have with this last one, we had some of it, but this is the next 5 days precipitation wise. These are huge numbers. Large numbers for rainfall. So flash flooding is going to be an issue. No problem. Henderson, Texas. Where's Henderson, Texas? See if Google Maps can find it. Oh, out there in East Texas. You guys are in very close to that enhanced on day 3, so Wednesday. You're very close. You may actually be in that enhanced on Wednesday. So let's look at the timing for you guys real quick. Let's quickly look at the timing. There it is. So it looks like initiation of storms at around 11 a.m. right now. This can change. Storm speed up, slow down. 11 a.m., 12, 1, 2, 3. I would say really 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Is going to be the biggest concern as of the latest data for Henderson, Texas down there. And tornadoes, large hail, wind is all going to be significant tornadoes, large hail and wind are all going to be a possibility, not a guarantee. We'll see what happens with I want to see what happens with the 12Z tomorrow, but there's a reason you're in that enhanced down there. Rain is downdraft, cooling. How is that the leading edge of a cell? It's typically not the leading. Well, you get a downdraft right before a storm. Remember, the updrafts are happening in the cell, and the downdrafts are happening around it. So, for instance, if we were to dive in here, you guys ever see a squall line heading towards you during the day? You see dark clouds, and right before it starts raining, you get a big burst of wind. I always tell my friends, anytime I'm outside and there's dark clouds ahead of us, or there's clouds above our head, and I feel a big chilly downburst, it's going to rain within 5 minutes every time. That's the downdraft. You have air being pulled up into, there's divergence up in the upper atmosphere. Right through here, there's divergence, meaning air in the upper atmosphere is moving like this away from each other. And so something has to fill the middle of that. So air from the surface rushes up. That's what a low pressure is. So where you see these thunderstorms, divergence is happening. Air is rushing away from each other in the upper atmosphere, and then moisture is pushing up into the middle of this. That's why dew points are important. The higher the dew points, the more moisture there is. Moist air is more buoyant than dry air. So the higher dew points you have, the more buoyancy you have. And that buoyancy gets sucked up into the middle here where there's divergence. Everywhere else around this it's shooting air down. Okay, so around it, it's shooting air down. But in the middle, it's shooting air up. This is kind of what happens with the hurricane. People get confused. Hurricanes aren't massive low-pressure systems. Hurricanes are a little low-pressure system in the middle and then a massive high-pressure system. This is all high pressure on the outside of a hurricane, and this is the low pressure, dead in the center. It's kind of how these storms work, but on a smaller scale. I don't think we're going to get a tornado in Long Island tonight. Kyle, I know you want it, Kyle. I know you want the tornado in Long Island. I just don't see it happening. Let me recheck to see if we have. 1 second. I'm going to keep answering questions. IDK, I appreciate you. Sherry, I appreciate you. I just want to make sure we don't have a tornado on the ground next to Georgetown, Delaware right now. Still not seeing too significant of a radar signature. But Southern Delaware, if you're in a tornado warning, I would treat it like there's one on the ground. I wouldn't be too scared. It doesn't look too ominous, but I would, just in case, be in a safe spot down there in Southern Delaware if you're in that tornado warning. On Wednesday, do you think they make the enhanced bicker? A lot of times I'd say yes with the setup we have, but it's already so huge. It's already very big. I don't know how much big. This is like one of the biggest enhanced regions I've ever seen. So, if anything, I think they've got it right out here. If anything, they might bring it a little bit farther south like this. But for the most part, I don't think so. They might bring it a little bit farther south. Sometimes they tilt a little bit. Who said I wanted a tornado? Just because I wanted a winter storm don't mean I want that. Huntersville, Alabama. Are you guys up to the north there in Alabama? Where are you? Oh yeah, you guys are like right up here, aren't you? If I'm not mistaken, you guys are like right here. Oh, you're more towards the center. Yeah, you guys are in that slight risk. Now, this is going to be interesting for you guys. And what's going on? This is going to be interesting for Huntersville, Alabama, because these storms were a little bit farther south originally, and you can see them holding just to the north. As you can, watch down there. Watch down there in northern Alabama. A lot of these storms are holding just to the north. You guys know why? Look at this thing down here. 1027 high pressure. Okay. This is a shield. This is a barrier. And it's saying, nope, not happening. And this is a problem though. So these storms are not pushing down towards the high pressure, right? It's like a shield. It could make storms worse to the north though, because what happens when you get a high pressure and a low pressure squeezed in together, right? So we can see we have this troughing here. Okay. Low pressure, high pressure. Okay. So what's happening here? Consistent one after another trough ejections. You're getting air squeezed in between this low pressure and high pressure and shot out in this direction. This is what's causing potentially a 3 to 4 day outbreak. We'll see. I think it's going to extend. I think we're going to get more risk zones out all the way through Saturday. And this is what's going to create a funnel of rain in this region, specifically in this region here, that could cause a lot of flash flooding. Just watch as this progresses. Watch these thunderstorms get funneled in between the high pressure and low pressure. Look what they're doing. See them staying in that funnel, staying in the funnel, staying in the funnel that whole time. Look at this. So, big concern because of that. This is different than the other severe setups we've seen. We didn't have a big high pressure out here with any of our other, not that I can remember, with any of our other severe setups this year. So these storms were able to move off down to the southeast. This is going to be isolating everything in this region, which is a little bit suspicious. Not suspicious, sketchy. Will Dallas, Texas get tornadoes? Let's pull back up our SBC forecast for Dallas, Texas. So you guys are in that slight tomorrow, and then you guys are in the slight or 15% tomorrow, and then you're in the 15% on Wednesday. And then you're in the 15% on Thursday. So lucky Dallas, Texas is in a severe risk for 3 days straight. We've got 1 here. We've got 2 here. We've got 3 here. Look at you guys. Hogging all the severe weather. Now let's go to HRRR and see which of those looks to be potentially the worst. Let's just take a look at the latest reflectivity and see it. Because will you get severe weather? You'll probably get some. Not loving this look. Now these storms look like they may initiate just out to your east tomorrow. Or sorry, this is Wednesday at around 6 a.m. These would have the potential to be dangerous. You can see a SIG tour up there, long track. Tomorrow, this doesn't want... HRRR isn't putting anything down there. But let's take a look at our MPAS model, because our MPAS sees things that the HRRR doesn't. This is our 12C. Okay, the MPAS isn't seeing anything either. So the MPAS isn't really seeing anything again until 6 a.m. Wednesday. But this could be severe. These could also initiate just east of the city. It's going to be a close call. What does our NAM think on this? Let's take a quick look. Our NAM's going to agree. This could be also, though, an issue. So Wednesday morning into Wednesday afternoon, and then we'll be watching Thursday morning into Thursday afternoon as well. Tomorrow, you're in a slight risk zone, although it looks like we'll have to see. I'm not seeing this day 2 for you guys. You're in a 2% tornado risk. Let's look at our hail. 2% hail. 2%. You're actually in a 3% wind. I'm not seeing the initiation the way this is showing it, though. I mean, let's look at our HRRR model again. Like, this is Tuesday. Sorry, let me get back in here. Let's look at our SIG tour. Well, there's a lot of SIG tour over you guys Tuesday night. I don't see the reflectivity showing any storms, but there's a ton of SIG tour 9 p.m. tomorrow night over Dallas, Texas. I'm talking major SIG tour. 28.7 supercell composite. 3,000 joules per kilogram cape. Look at this thing. All right, well, we'll watch tomorrow night. We're not seeing anything on the reflectivity, which is positive. But you can see these little bursts of blue that are happening out here. One of these could spawn something. So That's what we'll watch. Because that's crazy. SIGTOR, significant tornado parameter. If that's what you were asking about, what does it mean? So this right here shows us the brighter the colors are, the more dangerous of a tornado you can get. That's just a simplified version of it. But these are like maxed out SIGTOR parameters. Oh my gosh. Matt was right. Ooh, Nashville's going to have some high SIGTOR parameters too on Wednesday. Whoa. This is one of the... This is wild looking out here. 1 second, guys. I want to see if I can get... I want to see the sounding I can get out here. Give me 1 second, guys. Hold up, guys. Give me 1 second. Oh, Matt didn't answer. This is maxed out. I don't know if I've seen a maxed out SIGTOR param before, guys. Do you guys see this down here? Effective layer. Significant tornado parameter. This is as high as it goes. It can't go any higher. It's literally capped out. This is there's no possible higher level of effective layer SIGTOR parameter that can be achieved. 4,000 joules per kilogram surface cape, a 47.2 supercell composite, 13.7 fixed. I've 540 storm relative helicity. 47 knot shear at the surface. This is one of the craziest soundings I've ever seen. In Oklahoma tomorrow. I need to take a picture of this and send it to Matt. 1 second, guys. Oh my gosh. I need to take a picture of a couple things. 1 second, guys. Holy crap. 5,500 forecast cape. All right. Let me take a screenshot of this too. I don't know what to say. Let's move on. Don't know what to say. Yes, that's as bad as it gets SIGTOR wise. Oklahoma. You can have really bad SIGTOR parameters though, and if you don't get there, it doesn't guarantee you bad tornadoes. What it means is the ingredients are there. That sounding shows us the ingredients are in the atmosphere for like an EF4, EF5, massive tornado, or a few of them. But you still need timing and things to go right with these storms for them to form. But that more than confirms that is a perfect. The perfect ingredients are here for, really, really bad tornado. So, yeah, let me zoom out. Sorry, guys. That was like a mesmerizing sounding. All right. So let's look into here. Look at these SIGTORs. If you guys want to know what's happening in the Ohio Valley on Wednesday and why we're concerned, these are not bad looking either. Look at that. All the way up to Detroit. And this timing is around 6 p.m. on Wednesday. 5 p.m. Central, if you're out here in the West. Again, we do see some of this SIGTOR pushing pretty close up there into Chicago. It does push up there into Chicago on the NAM. So, yeah, northwestern Arkansas, you're you can see that that SIGTOR really moving in there. Wednesday morning, 2 a.m. So we're hopefully nothing nocturnal for you guys. But let's look at our reflectivity. There's your concern. Actually, well, we'll see, because this could bring something through there. When we really have to watch Wednesday morning. Then you've got this you have to worry about as well. 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. On Wednesday. This is, what we call a discrete setup. You can see up here where the HRRR wants to put a SIGTOR long track down up into Michigan. These are obviously forecast models. The storm isn't going to play out exactly like this. You can see some potential down here in Louisiana. You can see all these long tracks, northeastern Arkansas. And then as we push into Kentucky, we're seeing potential SIGTORs all through this region here. This would include Columbus, Ohio, Cincinnati. So lots to pay attention to. Do you think it's gonna go to Calhoun? Calhoun where? Georgia? Georgia doesn't look to be too affected by this stuff yet. Again, we just talked about it. There's a high pressure sitting off the coast down there to the southeast. And what it's doing is there's going to be a high pressure down here, and it's going to be acting like a shield for a lot of these states down here. For a lot of this area down here, it's going to be acting like a shield. And these storms are going to be getting sucked up through this region. That's why you're seeing, as we go into our day 3 and our day 4, they're really all staying. This is probably we're gonna get it enhanced on this. It's all staying through here. To the north here. So Georgia may luck out and not even get any of this stuff, any of the severe, as it looks right now. Minneapolis, you guys are in a marginal on Wednesday. That's about it. But snow-wise, what's going on with this up here? On our latest Euro. So our latest Euro wants to put some good heavy snow Tuesday evening into the Twin Cities. And then maybe some ice. Some ice and some mixing through the day. We can look at our latest winter weather Kuchera snowfall. And it wants to put maybe an inch or two down into Twin Cities. Not much, though. Wonder what our HRRR is thinking for you guys. Wants to put basically none. Wants it all to be mixing. Clarksville, Tennessee. Why do I forget where you guys are? How far east is Clarksville, Tennessee? 1 second. You guys are up to the northwest of Nashville. Yeah, you guys are in a hatch zone as well. So Wednesday has the potential to be worse than yesterday was for you guys. So let's take again a look at our probabilistic here. So this is a 30% hatch risk. And this is for all severe weather, so wind, hail, tornado. This is just your categorical probabilistic. So going back to our HRRR, actually, we can look at our HRRR for that area right now. What's the latest? Our 00Z NAM is loading as well. Let's pull back down into Ohio Valley. Into the Ohio Valley. Here we go. I'll take a look at this. So our latest HRRR isn't making it out there quite yet. So this to me looks like it's going to be a close to midnight type event if this continues to play out like this for Clarksville, Tennessee. And we can see, and I'm pretty sure we still have some good SIGTOR params out there as this moved through. So you can see some decent soundings out there in Clarksville. Some very good soundings out there in Clarksville. 7.0 effective layer sig torparam. Just so you guys know, all you need is a 2.0. Basically, is the thought. Well, not even. For all you really need is a 1.0 for what we call a sig tor. Everything up above this is just extra energy for a storm. So our fixed layer is at a 5.3 and this is at a 7.0. So this is more than enough. This is showing our winds, so you can see the curvature. When you see a hodograph like this, this isn't the craziest wind shear I've ever seen. You usually get a tighter one like this, but this is a pretty decent hodograph here. There's a little bit of inhibition, so the cap might have an issue breaking, which would be good, but not sure yet. We need to wait. We need to wait on this. Can you do tornado threat, Central Oklahoma, OKC for tomorrow, and timeline, please? Yeah. Yeah, Oklahoma's got some stuff going on tomorrow. I think, what does the CSU have them at tomorrow? I think this thing needs to be upgraded, but they have them at a, let's go to our tornado. That's our hail, wind, tornado probability. So right now you're at a 15% hatch, I believe. Let's look at the SPC. Let's look at the SPC for tomorrow. Tornado, let's go to our 4-panel. So yeah, you're at a 15% hatch or 10% hatch from the Storm Prediction Center. That's up there in Wichita. So you're actually only at a 5% from the Storm Prediction Center down there in OKC tomorrow. What we're seeing on the HRRR, I don't know why, guys. I don't know why we don't have a bigger threat down here to the south. I think there's going to be an issue with some of these, and you can see it right there. There's an issue with some of these storms initiating. And I think that's what's causing it. You can see all this initiation. Like, look at this up here. That right there in Kansas is a dangerous setup. But where's our storms initiating down here? They're trying to, right in here. They're trying to. If we get some storms to initiate tomorrow, they're going to be very bad down there in Oklahoma and around OKC. But some of this initiation isn't starting until after kind of those worst tornado parameters exit out. But again, and that's what I was talking about earlier. You can have significant sig tor params like this, and you don't have the thunderstorms. There's a lot of different things that go into play here. A lot of, is there a cap that needs to break or not as well? So we'll see. We hope, I hope that that these thunderstorms down here don't initiate tomorrow, down in Oklahoma, or at least not too many, because then we could have some very, very serious tornadoes through this region. Right now, all that's happening up here to the north. And then as we push into, you can see right here, as we push into around 3 in the morning Wednesday, we start to get these cells pop up down there in and around Oklahoma City. So this to me right now looks like a Wednesday morning issue. And these could be very powerful. These could be very severe. But I'd much rather see this than see these storms initiate tomorrow night around Oklahoma City. What's going on, Celine? Pooping bear. Yeah, Kansas. Right as we get into, I guess this would be around 7 p.m. for Kansas tomorrow. Let's call it 6 though, the evening time. That's when we're seeing potentially a breakout of sig tors long track up here. That's what the HRRR thinks. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but that looks very dangerous for Kansas tomorrow evening. We'll look at the MPAS as well. Look at that. So, again, though, we could see something worse in OKC depending on how things play out tomorrow. So we need to watch. We need to watch Oklahoma, central Oklahoma, and then out towards eastern Oklahoma. The sounding I took earlier. The sounding I took earlier was west of Oklahoma City. Timing for Cincinnati for these next storms. Let me go into here. So right now, I mean, if I were to take a look at the euro, because the HRRR's, well, the NAM will take me out. We could take a look at the NAM for timing as well. It's fine. I can take a look at the euro for initial timing. So this looks to be a Wednesday evening type of event. But there's going to be a couple rounds of severe weather. So we might be watching the same thing. Severe weather again for Cincinnati on Thursday. We could even see severe weather again for Cincinnati on Friday. We could have multiple rounds, multiple days in a row, severe weather. Multiple days of severe weather in this region in a row. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The green's just rainfall there. Yeah, you know, I want to get a second opinion. Matt's probably sleeping. I want to get a second opinion on tomorrow because tomorrow looks like it could be bad for Oklahoma, but we're not seeing the storms initiating. We're seeing them initiating up into Kansas, but there's some pretty significant SIGTOR params down in Oklahoma, and so I want to get a second opinion on this. Let me see. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me look what the CPC's actually put out about this. All right, wait. I'm gonna get on a call with Matt. Okay. All right. Let's figure this out, guys. Oh, my phone's gonna die. No. Why are my calls working? 1 second, guys. Let me tell him, calls not going through. Oh, my phone's going to die as soon as I get him on, guys. For anyone wondering, I'm just trying to... Oh, here we go. Hey. It's about weather, real quick. You were right about maxed out SIGTOR params. It's 11.0 effective layer in Oklahoma. Dude, the supercell composite was 48. I don't think I've ever seen that. Yeah. I'm on with chat, and there's I'm having some issues here because we're seeing an explosion of SIGTOR from the NAM and HER and MPAS and everything in Oklahoma tomorrow, but we're not seeing the initiation of storms that were all happening up in Kansas.
Yeah.
And what do you think is holding? What do you think is holding these cells? What do you think is holding these thunderstorms back?
It's the capping.
It's the capping. Now,
a huge cap in place tomorrow.
Yeah. Do you think we could see that break?
I think it's a 50-50 shot once again, but there's some models, like I said, the MPAS that are showing it that I agree with. If we get one, and I mean one identical cell that just pops up in Oklahoma, you put a EF2 plus on the table.
Easily.
Easily, and maybe even worse than that. SPC has mentioned going moderate tomorrow, a double upgrade, like I said earlier to you, if they do in fact see that happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just looking at it, and I was talking to chat, and I said, a big issue is obviously the capping. But again, I would be extremely, extremely concerned if tomorrow we started seeing, or tomorrow it would be evening time, we started seeing thunderstorms forming in Oklahoma.
Yep, I agree. I think it'll definitely be there.
Yeah, yeah, and it makes me nervous that the SBC isn't putting. I get why they're keeping that risk zone up in Kansas. They don't want to
Yeah.
freak everyone
Yeah.
out, and then there's sunny skies. But like, those are crazy.
Yeah, I think once soundings come in tomorrow morning and we actually get actual like real time raw data in, I think things will change once those get plugged into the morning.
Yeah,
Models.
yeah. Okay. Well, I just wanted to, I wanted to confirm that with you, just because I,
Yeah,
I,
absolutely.
I had never, that was crazy. When you said they were maxed out, I thought you were like, oh, like I thought you were exaggerating, but it's really
No,
maxed out.
no. Like I promise, Connor, if I ever tell you that something's maxed out, I legitimately mean it.
Yeah, that's wild, dude. All right, I appreciate you. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, no problem, bud.
Later. Yeah, guys, if we see thunderstorms initiating in Oklahoma tomorrow after late afternoon into the evening hours, like all bets are on for a dangerous setup. So I think, and I understand why the SPC isn't putting anything down here currently into Oklahoma, like enhanced moderate hatch wise for tornado, but because they don't want to freak people out if we don't get thunderstorms forming. But out of an abundance of caution, I think they should expand this tomorrow, because it would be a terrible, terrible day if we saw thunderstorms forming down here in Oklahoma tomorrow, because those things would spin up 500 to 600 helicity at the surface. You want to talk about major rotation? I haven't even looked at the dew points, guys. All right, I'm getting back to chat. Give me a second. I have not even looked at the dew points down here tomorrow. Look at that. 66 to 67. Primed. The dew points aren't even that impressive in Kansas. But you've got a dry line. Look at this dry line as well in Oklahoma. Look at that dry line. Oh, my Lord. All right, what's going on, guys? Wait. Matt called me earlier to let me know. Will it be as bad as the one before? Wait, no, what are you talking about? Look back at your video with your stick figure drawing the do something character. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, this would be something. Connor, you've been answering questions? Connor, I've been answering questions for you? Thank you. Appreciate you answering questions for me. Grand Rapids, Michigan Wednesday. Yeah, we have a concern for Grand Rapids, Michigan Wednesday. This is our concern. You guys are in a, right now, potentially a 30% hatched categorical outlook from the CSU. So very severe weather, much, much worse than we saw yesterday. Could be possible up there in Grand Rapids Wednesday. So something to keep our eye on. And the timing for that, for you guys up there, well, let's take a look. Let me get back into our HER. This is a lot of rainfall, though, again, before this main event. You guys might be just so saturated you don't see severe weather. But the worst of it would probably be coming Wednesday morning into Wednesday afternoon. Potentially through Wednesday evening. It's really there's a lot happening up here. That first burst of moisture is likely not going to be severe right there, up there in Michigan. What's behind it is what we're watching. So we'll have to start watching. We'll have to start watching Grand Rapids as we get into the afternoon hours on Wednesday. How's Columbus, Ohio looking for Wednesday? I have a game. I don't want it to get canceled. Columbus, Ohio is looking... Okay, so this right here is Wednesday evening, 6 p.m. in Columbus, Ohio. And I don't know if you see what the HER has down when you see these. This doesn't mean that there's going to be a SIG tour right where you see this. But what is this representing? This is representing a potential long track significant tornado. 6 p.m. Wednesday through Columbus. Now, are we going to see that? No. This is a model, guys. I'm just saying, if you want to know what the time is to watch out, it's as we get into the late afternoon, evening hours. in Ohio. This does look like a more severe setup than what you just saw as well. Don't think that there's actually going to be a long track EF2 tornado there. But in the region, we have to watch. Any more ice storms? Well, we can take a real quick look. Let's see what our HRRR is actually putting down ice-wise. Total ass, Fram. Not doing too much with this storm. A little bit up there in central western Michigan. A little bit up there in North Dakota. The Euro is probably a little bit more bullish with our freezing rain. Let's see. Yeah, you know, watching Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, parts of upstate, northeastern upstate New York, and then obviously Michigan. No, this doesn't look severe, except for potentially up here through Vermont, Michigan, and portions of inland Maine. Let me go back to her. Severe weather. No problem. Cleveland, Ohio. We just talked about it. Cleveland, Ohio. I guess we talked about Columbus, Ohio. Yeah, it looks like we could have some pretty bad storms initiating as early as 2 to 3 p.m. on Wednesday. It's probably going to be after that, but you want to pay attention. You want to overestimate this. So it looks like as we get into the late afternoon, evening hours, Cleveland and Columbus, this is a dangerous setup. What's the difference between this and the setup you just had? This is way more discrete. And by discrete, we mean we have a chance for stronger, isolated supercells. Notice this is what we call popcorn. All these cells out here by themselves. See that? They have the sky to themselves. They just pull. These are like mini hurricanes. They just pull up all that energy. When you have a squall line like this, now this is a broken up squall line with discrete cells in it as well. So it's dangerous. But when you get a squall line put together, you have a lot of this inflow that's being shared, a lot of this energy that's being shared up and down this squall line. So we really worry about this discrete cell setup, and we have a very nice discrete setup up through portions of Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio. Afternoon, evening hours on Wednesday. So this would be a little bit more severe. Up there in Michigan as well, and potentially Chicago. So we're watching Chicago closely. You can see the long tracks that want to be put out here by the HRRR out there in northern Illinois as well. So we'll have to watch that. This can change, although we're getting pretty close. We're going to within 48 hours. So what could change it is a lot of moisture on the front end of this. Stabilizes the atmosphere, and see this rain that we get ahead in some areas. If we get a little bit of rain ahead in some of these areas before this main event reaches, it's going to stabilize the atmosphere for some of us, especially up here in Michigan and northern Illinois. All of this rain that's going to come ahead could stabilize that air up there and hopefully lower our severe risk, but we have to wait and see. That's hard to tell until almost day of sometimes. Santi, I just saw it, but then you did. How's Northwest Indiana looking? Northwest Indiana has some SIGTOR potential on Wednesday. Northwest Indiana has some SIGTOR potential on Wednesday. That would be around, right now it looks to be around Wednesday, middle of the day, around 12 o'clock. Grand Rapids looks like the worst. You could see things really go downhill in Grand Rapids. As early as, I would say, 12 to 1 in the afternoon as well on Wednesday. There's SIGTOR potential all up and down there, unfortunately. Julie Brandon, what's going on? Yali, I appreciate you. What's going on? Goose, I appreciate you. Mud Pie, L Will. Sorry, I'm looking up. Santi, what do you need? What do you need? I'm trying to find your chat. We got 300 people in here. So the hash in Wichita, Kansas tomorrow is a possible tornado. Yes. or a few possible significant tornadoes. Definitely, if you're anybody's in Wichita needs to have weather alerts on, and be paying very close attention. They're in a hatch: hail, wind, and tornado tomorrow. Significant. How does Northern Kentucky look? Northern Kentucky looks like it has the potential to be more severe than we just saw yesterday. We're watching this to be a... Sarah, appreciate that. We're watching this to potentially have a much stronger tornado potential up there in Northern Kentucky as well. The tornadic risk from Chicago, again, look at what CSU is doing up here. We've got a hatched high 4 out of 5 risk basically up there in Chicago. So this would be a much more dangerous potential setup on Wednesday than we saw yesterday in Chicago. Cookie. We had some pop-ups in Georgia, which I was not expecting. What, tornado-wise today? Yeah, there was some okay tornadoes all up and down the eastern seaboard. Tornado threats basically died out. There's nothing going on in there. Shane with the Galaxy. Shane, I appreciate you. Thank you, Shane. Thank you. I always Terhot. That's such a weird... Let me look at where that is again. Terre. Oh, right there in West Central Indiana. Yeah, timing right now for you guys looks to be... Ooh, this thing kind of breaks up on the... I mean, you could have your weather going downhill as early... I mean, right now, this looks to be like a... I guess this would be a 12 in the afternoon to 2 in the afternoon type of event for you guys. It looks like the worst storms could be initiating around 2 in the afternoon on Wednesday. You guys may end up going into a moderate hatched area, though. We'll have to see how much rain comes out ahead of that. Lynn with the Galaxy. Oh, my gosh, guys. Lynn, I appreciate that. Thank you, Erica. Lynn and Shane with the Galaxy. Thank you, guys. How are we looking, Yali? Well, looks like storm initiation for you guys close to 8 in the morning on Wednesday. Latest SPC, as we get into day 3, you guys are still in that enhanced region. You're also in a 30% hatch. So, not looking the best, Yali. Not looking the best. I'd way rather be down here, though, than in here. Or in here. No offense to you guys. But, yeah. So, and then day 4, I believe you're in that as well, Yali. Yali, I think you'll be in enhanced here, by the way. But we'll see how that progresses. Tell it to go away. Go away. Julie, I appreciate you. Thank you, Julie. Lynn with the sub. I appreciate you, Lynn. Not too much to worry about for you, Julie. You're in this marginal risk on Wednesday. And I think you'll actually end up being in a slight risk on I think this will increase. This 30% risk will expand up there to the north and east for Thursday, but not too bad. Bro, no, you won't. Southwestern Pennsylvania. Yeah, you guys are in that 30%, I believe, right there out towards Pittsburgh on Thursday. And then you're in that marginal on Wednesday. So not looking too terrible for you guys, but that Wednesday event could actually be worse. Or this Thursday event could actually be worse. We'll have to see. I expect this to expand, and I expect a big enhanced in here as well. Wait, I forgot what you told me to say, Ollie. I forgot what you told me to say. Wichita, Kansas, actually 30 minutes or 30-minute east tomorrow. Howdy, chat. Yeah, listen. Here's our tornado risk tomorrow. 10% hatched, even 30 minutes out to the east of Wichita. Even 30 minutes out to the east of Wichita. Hatched wind, hatched hail, hatched tornado, dangerous setup. If the cap breaks tomorrow, like I was just talking to Matt about, this will end up being even more dangerous. Oklahoma City to Tulsa. If the cap breaks. That's the big if, conditional. Could Western Long Island get any more thunderstorms? Well, we're going to have some more thunderstorms this week. We're going to have some more thunderstorms this week out into Western Long Island. Remember, we talked about this high pressure down here. That's going to be funneling. We have a low pressure to the north that's going to be funneling. High pressure spin clockwise, low pressure spin counterclockwise. So a lot of this is going to be shooting up here to the north towards the mid-Atlantic and northeast. So we could see few days of potential thunderstorms up there in Long Island. We could see thunderstorms like every day of the week moving forward, potentially. Mike with the sub. Wait, how did I get 5 subs within 15 minutes? Oh, I got 2. Okay. Mike and Lynn, I appreciate you guys. Thank you, guys. Can you answer my question for Jonesboro, Arkansas Wednesday? Yeah, I just didn't see it yet. QUJ. I don't know how to pronounce that. I appreciate you. What's going on? So for around, when is the next severe threat for Georgia? All of this may stay to the northwest of Georgia because of that high pressure to the southeast. All of it looks to stay to the northwest right now, but Jonesboro, Arkansas. If that changes, we'll talk about it, but all of it looks to stay to the northwest right now. Georgia, where is my Jonesboro, Arkansas? Oh, yeah, northeastern Arkansas. Yeah, northeastern Arkansas. Again, you guys can see you're almost in your 5 out of 5 hatch risk on the CSU. Memphis, Tennessee is the target for this Wednesday, severe weather. So, yes, Jonesboro is in a pretty significant area for the severe. I mean, like one of the most significant areas for the severe threat on Wednesday. Southwestern Pennsylvania. 1 second. Mount Pleasant. I got you. Give me 1 second. I got you, Lynn. So yeah, timing for you. Timing for you. You know, the CSU especially is worried about southwestern Arkansas, and they know what they're talking about. So, or sorry, northeastern Arkansas. Guys, mind you, I'm not feeling good. Okay, I keep saying west for east, northeastern Arkansas. So that timing looks to be around 6 p.m. on Wednesday. That would be 5 p.m. Central. I'm getting dyslexic with my directions. Can't have that in weather. Can't have that. Can't have that. I need to slap myself in the face for that. Yeah, look at that. Look at that around. This would be around 4 p.m. Central, where we see the HRRR worrying about long track significant tornadoes. Look at this right here. Right there. Right there. So have a way to get weather alerts. Pay attention to that. All right. Southwest. Lynn, I appreciate that. Lynn, thank you. Everything. Yeah, so out towards southwestern PA. Some thunderstorms moving through Wednesday, 12 in the afternoon. This isn't expected to be severe. This is going to be just likely rain and thunderstorms. Julie with the sub. Julie, I appreciate you. Four-month subscriber. Thank you, Julie. How's the weather been up there, by the way? This is when we could go severe up there in southwestern PA. Early morning Thursday around 6 a.m. This is when you guys are putting a slight. This is when you rainy. No surprise. This is when you guys could go enhanced as well. Early in the morning Thursday. But again, as we push into Friday, and we don't have this yet, this could go severe as well on Friday morning. So Thursday morning, Friday morning, And then watch what happens as we push out into Saturday morning. Another round. So, and then Sunday morning, more thunderstorms. That's what I'm saying. When we have this setup with the high to the south, east, and your low up here to the northwest. Oops, that's supposed to be an L, guys. You get this funneling action. And not only is severe weather going to be an issue through this region, but again, when we look at our total quantitative precipitation, this is a lot of rainfall, including up there into southwestern Arkansas, Pennsylvania, where we could see 3 to 6, maybe even 7 inches of rainfall. Flash flooding issues. There's going to be a risk for some hail, winds, and tornadoes up here as well, potentially Thursday and Friday. Now, again, the most significant risk still looks to be out here, but we'll see how that shifts out. We'll have to watch how that shifts off to the east. This is going to be a lot of rainfall out there in Buffalo as well. We could see 3-4 inches. And I do think Buffalo is going to go into a slight risk on Thursday. I think you're going to be rainy with all of us all week. How's the Toledo area looking for Wednesday? Really quickly here. Actually, well, yeah, let's pull this in here. Give me a second. Let's look at. Interesting. A lot of these storms want to actually initiate south of Toledo, but that could be severe up there, but likely wouldn't be. So this is the timing, as early as I would say 4 p.m. on Wednesday, we could get some cells moving through. Although you're more likely 6 to 8 p.m. going to see the potential for SIGTORs, damaging winds and hail. We could see another round of that on Thursday as well there too. Who asked about Dalton? Dalton, PA, Dalton, Georgia? Where Dalton? Thank you, Lynn. Lynn with everything. Thank you. Cincinnati. Yeah, we've talked about Cincinnati a little bit. This is a more dangerous setup than yesterday's was. Again, around 6 p.m. Wednesday, significant tornado, wind, and hail possibility. It's more of a dangerous setup. Again, if we get some rain out ahead of this, this could help to downtrend it. But this is this is a popcorn type thunderstorm setup. So this is a discrete setup, and you can get stronger tornadoes that are detached from a squall line, and there's a lot of discrete cells out here ahead, which we didn't really have as much, which we really didn't have at all for this last system yesterday. Go Gophers, that's right. Oh, so let's say it's really sunny before storms come, but the storms arrive during the night. With the daytime heating not doing anything to strengthen storms. Wait. No. Daytime heating can help storms. That parcel of air at the surface can heat up and rise. The evening hours can be even more significant in how they affect storms. I would say morning severe weather is probably, after the sun's been down for a while. I'd say 2 to 6 a.m. is really where you get a lull. Evening hours, when the sun begins to set, the upper atmosphere will cool. And again, warm air at the surface and cold air aloft is an unstable atmosphere. As that atmosphere begins to cool, the parcel is still heated from the day, that's when you can get an explosion of storms around the evening hours. So transitioning into nighttime, a lot of times will actually initiate a lot of these storms, even farther. OJ, Star Map Polaris. I love that one. OJ, I appreciate you. Thank you, OJ. Good to see you in the stream. I'm probably going to be getting off here early. I haven't been feeling great. I've been on here for about an hour and a half. I wasn't even going to go on. I just took a bunch of medicine and I was like, suck it up. There's just so much to talk about. Even Matt was like, you're going to be sick this week with what we're looking at. And I'm like, I know, I can't be sick this week. Latian Nurse, what's going on? OJ, I appreciate that, man. Okay, let me try to answer a few more questions here before I get off. Again, I posted a video today that talks about a lot of this stuff, and I'll be posting another one tomorrow, and I'll be going live again tomorrow. But let me try to answer some more questions before I get off. What time frame for Ohio on Wednesday? Yeah, you can see the worst of it looks to initiate possibly as early as 4 p.m. I mean, I would say if you want to get crazy, maybe as early as 3 p.m. This is as of the latest HRRR. So now this time frame right here looks potentially the worst through areas like Columbus, Cleveland, Cincinnati around 6 p.m. Eastern. But large discrete cell setup there. Northwest Ohio could initiate a little bit earlier, although it really looks to be around the same time. It's going to be a late afternoon into the evening hours, into the late afternoon, early evening, although there's, we have a weird setup with discrete cells, a squall line here and a squall line here and a squall line here. So it's not out of the question you get a couple of rounds of this stuff. So I want to say late afternoon, this thing's going to start for Ohio. Depending on how this sets up, we could see this pushing through the night out towards 10 p.m.-ish. Lynn. Lynn, I appreciate you. Thank you, Lynn. Lynn, thank you. Hopkinsville, Kentucky. What's the light green in Arizona from your video from the Storm Prediction Center? The light from my video today. Hold up, my phone's gonna die. I'll look at Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Give me a second. You're probably talking about a 2% tornado risk. Let's see. Let's see. I don't see it. I don't see it. Is this for tomorrow or later this week? Tomorrow we're watching Kansas, Oklahoma, and north central Texas. Potentially portions of Nebraska as well. And then we're talking Wednesday here. And then we're talking this more severe weather potentially Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So we're watching severe weather across the states possibly as the next 5-6 days in a row. The most significant event could be tomorrow and here. Well, the most widespread significant event looks to be Wednesday. But Thursday, Friday, it's not out of the question. We could see some uptrend on that event as well. And tomorrow is a conditional setup where it could be very bad or it could be... You could dodge a bullet with that one. No problem, MK. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Liam. Yeah, general thunderstorms is light green, and then a darker green, it's a marginal, meaning basically a 1 out of 5 threat. But there's a bunch of things that are shaded green in weather, so it all. Yeah, I mean, this right up here is our general thunder, and then our darker greens are marginal 1 out of 5, and then 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5 risk. What sources do you use to learn about weather? I'm a flight instructor, and my students need the help. I went to school. Well, I've been obsessed with weather my whole life, and then I went to Florida State. I didn't finish my meteorology degree. I was there for 3 years, and then I left, and I continued to study on my own for years, for like a decade. But you can watch college. I've watched so many meteorological college lectures online on YouTube about all, and I love watching stuff about severe weather, hurricanes. I love climatology. I watched lots of videos over the last decade on climatology. So, lots of stuff with Enzos and MJO and all that type of stuff. Anything, it's all out there. It's all out there. I did a lot of textbook and, classic learning when I was at Florida State in my degree. So that kind of helped to give me a base. But you can find it. You can find great lectures all over the place, just on YouTube. Lynn with the corgi. Lynn just won't stop. Lynn, I appreciate you. Oh my gosh. We had a tornado warning in New Jersey. Yeah, I saw that. It didn't look like anything significant touchdown. I did see for a brief moment there was a CC little couplet there, or droplet there, which means we might have had a tiny debris field for a second there in Jersey. So we'll have to see what that did tomorrow. Hopefully it wasn't over a neighborhood. So we're in day one, the day one risk. We're about to be at day two. Is DFW getting any snow soon? No, but guys, these temperatures, oh my gosh. Look at, winter is going to rear its ugly head one more time. This is April 6th to April 10th. This is going to be April 8th to April 14th. Temperatures 10 all the way up to maybe 25 degrees below average for some of these areas. It's going to be cold. We could see temperatures down in the low 40s, upper 30s wanting to get down here in April. So it's going to be weird. We'll have to see what happens if there's any snow in so many weird areas. It's possible. Santi, what's going on? Santi, I only see your comments when you're bitching. I'm missing your comments, Santi. I thought I gave you a sub. Why isn't it showing your name with the sub? It's not showing it next to your name. That's weird. I know. I don't want that either. Guys, I got to get off. I got to get up super early. I know there's a bunch of questions I didn't answer. Let me answer a couple more really quick. Do you know what parts of Kentucky have the highest risk of tornadoes? Well, it's going to be western and central. It's going to be this region with this event. But again, Bowling Green out here, everyone needs to pay attention this Wednesday. Grand Rapids, Michigan could see some tornadoes. Yes, this looks like a more severe setup than yesterday's. Why is Virginia that color? Because Virginia could see temperatures 20 degrees below average next week. I did give you a sub. I don't know why it's not showing next to your name. Maybe it takes a second. That's very weird. Chicago Heights, Chicago. Yeah. Lynn. Let's look at our timing there one more time. This likely isn't severe. This is when things could get severe. So this would be around 8 a.m. on Wednesday. 8, 9, 10. You could get some more storms right behind here as well. So, but it could start as early as 8 in the morning on Wednesday. And the possibility for strong winds, hail, and sectors it's not an impossibility if they're in Chicago. We have a much more dangerous threat up there than we did with this last system. Much more dangerous. I'd say like 2 times. But, still, there's no need to freak out. Most people aren't going to be affected by a tornado. They're small. But have a plan and prepare. Always prepare for the worst. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. It's a dangerous setup, so you want to be weather alert for sure Wednesday morning up there in Chicago. How's Battle Creek, Michigan, and Calhoun City, South Central? I can't put my coordinates in on here. I thought I already talked about that. All right. Let me do that real quick. Why? Oh, there we go. Battle Creek. Yeah, you guys. According to the CSU as well, you're in that hatch zone. So significant tornadoes, wind, and hail are a possibility Wednesday. An initiation for that. That won't be the initiation. This would be likely your most severe hour. So, I'd say closer to 12, between 12 and 2 p.m. We could have things really going downhill for that area. 12 in the afternoon to 2 p.m. on Wednesday. I got to get to bed, guys. I appreciate all you being in here. NTX, what's going on? I appreciate you. Caleb, I appreciate you. Thank you seriously to anyone who's gifted, followed, subbed, being in here. Again, I want to do this full time one day. You guys get me a little bit closer. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to post another video tomorrow. I'll be live tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be feeling better. But I really appreciate you guys all being in here. Seriously. So everyone have a great night, and I will be back on. I'm sorry I can't answer everyone's questions. I'm one person, but maybe we'll have to expand. We'll have to get a bigger team so I can get more people in here answering everyone's questions. Everyone have a great night, and I'll be back on tomorrow. And like I said, if we see thunderstorms tomorrow start forming in Oklahoma, we need to pay attention, and I'll be posting updates about it because we do have maxed out SIG Torprams in Oklahoma tomorrow. So that would be crazy, and we don't want that to happen. Night, everyone. I appreciate you guys. Night, Blonde.